The wreckage of their mothership drifted silently behind them, glittering against the red giant's light. Steve broke the silence first. "We won't last in orbit." Sable held the container of issued eggs tighter. "Then where?" He looked at the shrinking curve of a slushy below. "We go back down. If we wait out for 48 hours until the wormhole reopens, we might still make it home." The word home felt strange after what they had just seen, but Sable nodded. "Then we hide." The lander plunged once more through Slushy's atmosphere. This time, instead of the sprawling jungles or the burning cities, they chose the far south, jagged islands in an endless storm-wrecked sea. From orbit, they had seen no sign of civilization, a good sign. The lander hissed as it settled on black volcanic rock. Around them, glaciers rose like broken teeth, mist trailing across the horizon. "Remote, desolate, perfect," Steve muttered. They stepped out into the icy wind, their suits shifting colors to match the terrain. For a while, silence reigned. No drones, no soldiers, just wind and the distant crash of waves. Then came the growl, low, rumbling, wrong. They looked around, eyes widening. From the shadows of the rocks emerged a reptile, longer than the lander itself, scale rippling with color. Like living oil, a brilliant frill flared from its neck, crackling as if alive with static. "Steve?" Sable whispered. "It's beautiful." The creature hissed. Then it spat. A jet of sizzling liquid seared the stone where they had stood seconds before, the rock bubbling and smoking as though it had been dropped into acid. "Move!" Steve shouted, pulling her behind a rigid as another blast streaked past them. The creature lunged, jaws snapping. They scrambled, firing their sidearms. Blue bursts struck its frill, leaving scorched marks but barely slowing it. "He's shrugging it off," Steve shouted. "Go for the ice." Sable labeled her weapon, heart pounding. As the reptile reared back, she fired. The bolt lanced straight through its left eye. The creature shrieked as it thrashed against the rocks. Steve delivered the final shot at its throat, where the scales were thinner. The monster collapsed, acid spilling from its jaws, burning trenches into the ground. Both of them stood gasping, their suits flickered with debris. Sable bent over, clutching her knees. "We barely made it." Steve glanced at the container still slung across her chest. Unscathed, he exhaled. 40 hours. We just have to survive 40 hours. The hours crawled. Acid rain hammered the lander's shell. Strange shadows circled above, reptilian wings slicing through the mist. Twice they had to fight off teeth clashing against their suit's nanoscopic armor. Each moment stretched, a test of patience and endurance. Finally, mercifully, the comms stripped. "The wormhole's open," Steve said, relief cutting through his exhaustion. "Time's up." They launched from the desolate island, rising back into the crimson sky. Ahead, a shimmering hole in space twisted into existence. The wormhole, their lifeline. Sable spray's coat. "We're going home." But as they drew closer, something slid into view. A satellite, black, angular, its surface bristling with weapons. "It's waiting for us." Steve's voice was tight. The satellite rotated, energy building along its spine. Then it fired. The lander jolted violently, alarms blaring as plasma tore across its hull. Steve gritted his teeth, wrestling the controls. Hold on! Another blast struck, searing one wing of the craft. Flames burst across their displays, warning lights screaming. Sable clenched the containers tight, whispering to the unborn issues within. Not here, not like this, Steve roared, forcing the lander forward. The wormhole loomed shimmering alive. The satellite fired again. The beam lanced past them, then followed, threading itself into the wormhole as they crossed the event horizon. Light swallowed them. They merged back into the hangar of the International Space Agency's orbital station. But the victory was hollow. The energy beam, still coherent, ripped through with them. It slammed into the station's hull, exploding in sparks and shrapnel. Sirens blared as fire suppression systems screamed into life. General Reyes stormed into the control deck, his face red with fury. You damaged the station. You nearly destroyed the wormhole gate. His voice shook with rage. If we lose one more ship, you're finished. Do you hear me? Sable stood stiffly, her arms still wrapped around the flask of eggs. Steve said nothing. Jaw clenched, eyes burning. Reyes stabbed a finger towards them. One more failure, and you're both out. The room fell into silence. The only sound, the faint hum of the damaged systems struggling to hold. Sable met Steve's gaze, her voice low. We're carrying more than just ourselves now. Steve nodded grimly. Then we can't fail them.